Ashley, will you tell me in a nutshell kind of what Cavett Kids is?
Yeah. So the Cavett Kids Foundation is a nonprofit based in Oklahoma City, but serves kids throughout the entire state of Oklahoma who've been diagnosed with a chronic or life-threatening illness. And really at the core of everything that we're doing is for them to have a community to connect with, because having an illness can be really isolating. Learn positive coping skills, and to learn that this isn't who you are, it doesn't need to define you, and you can thrive in life despite any of the challenges that you have. So we really do that through summer camps. That's what we're known for, but we have events and programming that happens all year long.
Is this symptoms?
I was messing around at Academy like a typical 4-year-old, and I was trying on roller skates, and thank God I did. I busted my butt in the roller skates, and
In the store?
yes, just goofing around, and I fell back, and then a lump appeared on my spine. And prior to this, I was having terrible back pain, but my parents we all thought it was growing pains because I'm 4. But once I fell on those roller skates and that lump appeared, it just kept growing and kept growing. Over a short amount of time, it was the size of a grapefruit. My parents took me to multiple doctors, and multiple doctors were like, oh, it's a hematoma, like it's a bruise under the skin, like you're going to be fine, it'll go away. And my mom had the mother instinct, and she was like, it's not just a bruise, like my baby's hurting. And then we landed at Oklahoma Children's ER, and they ran all the tests, and that's when they figured out I had the cancer. I had embryonal rhabdomyosarcoma, which was 3 tumors wrapped around my spine, and it was stage 4, so it was also spread throughout my body, like on my pancreas and in my bones. I was 4 years old when I got diagnosed, and I got treatment for about 1.5 years, and I've been in remission since.
Awesome.
So, I was going to college, and I was like, oh, yeah, you'll figure it out, right? These are the passions. So I also tried out, and one of the alums invited me to go do, they were looking to get the collegiates more involved with the Oklahoma City alumni group. They had a fundraiser where pediatric cancer patients would create artwork, they'd auction it off, and it would support local pediatric cancer charities. And they said, well, you're the only art major.
Yeah.
Would you come help us? I think it's all about a choice, right? So I was having a really great time as a sophomore in college.
Yeah.
That's a
That's a good time in
Saturday.
life.
That's a great time in life. I was living it up. But there was a choice. Do you want to come help? So I went, and they pair you up with a cancer patient, and you create artwork, right? And one of the alumni was telling me when I walk in the door, this is November, and she said, okay, just don't get too attached because some of these kids aren't going to make it to the event. Well, the event is in February. And as a 20-year-old college student, you really don't think about children dying, right? That had never been an experience that I'd ever lived through. And so that was a big thing to say to someone, and so casually. Yeah. And so then they pair me, you get a little artist, and they're like, this is Becca, and she's picked out some stuff to paint, and just the cutest little girl, and she wanted to paint this brown background with pink flowers, and she was actually really good too. She was like 5.
Yeah.
And was really good too. And I was like, wow. So just doing it, and I guess she could feel my hesitation, something in there. And she just stopped and said, don't be scared to be my friend, because if I died, I would miss you too.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, done, all in. That's a big thing for a child to tell you. And as soon as I got home, so that alumni that invited me, Casey, she had picked me up, drove me, I think, to make sure I really got there on time, right? So as soon as I got back, I got on my computer, because they were calling it art therapy. And so I was like, I've never heard of this. So that's really what started my career with Cavett Kids. So I moved back April 2012 to become an intern with the Cavett Kids Foundation. And I did the summer camps. I worked in the hospital, and my job was to make arts and crafts with the kids and then invite them to camp. And so one of the cool things with the Cavett Kids Foundation is a big part of our programming is the camps during the summer. And a lot of times former campers want to serve on our summer staff and help plan the camps and be back at camp and serve in that way. And so that's really cool to get to have them come back and see the other side of it. And Becca actually came back and served alongside another former camper, Takia, one summer. And I'll let you kind of describe what you did. And
This was a while back. Coordinate and set up the camps. Like she said, our biggest camp is nearly 200 kids. Some are 20. But I got to really see the behind the scenes because, like she mentioned earlier, you do not realize everything that goes into it. You just think it's like, oh, camp, like this, so
Talk
fun.
some stuff up.
Yeah, I did not realize the amount of effort that goes into it, but I think the amount of effort that does go into it shows like how loved Cabot Kids is. And like I was telling you earlier, it's like my other family, a community that I'm so blessed to be a part of.
But yeah, so Becca, she was working with us one summer, and I just always had felt like a special connection with her. And there's kids that you just really get close to that share about their story with you, and you get to see every summer and you really connect with. And we had just got done with a long camp session, and we were unpacking the trailer. We're standing out there, and her mom comes to pick her up, and she says something like, oh, like, I just can't believe all these years and you guys are together or something. And it's like, I've just got to find those photos.
And we were both like, what is she talking about?
Like, just like, yeah, like,
Okay.
I don't know. I just thought she was doing some crazy talk and she was confused or something, right? Because I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know, maybe it's her as a teenage camper or something. I don't know. I didn't really know what she meant. And then her mom did go and dig up these photos. And Rebecca, with me serving, was 5-year-old Becca from the hospital when I made the choice to go volunteer that Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And, seeing a little bald girl who's 5 versus a young woman who's graduated high school and going into college serving, that's a big difference in time. And I never put it together that Rebecca was Becca, who'd inspired my whole journey. And I think you had even won the scholarship that year. And we were just kind of talking one day, and she was telling me and thanking me for, being a part of her life. And I was like, and then I told her what she'd said to me. And I was like, that changed my whole career. And, like, that's why I'm here today.
Will you repeat what she said just in case we miss it through editing?
She had a 5-year-old girl just looked straight at me and said, don't be scared to be my friend, because if I died, I'd miss you too. And, I mean, what a heavy, big thing to say as a little kid. You have no idea.
What other kid has the concept of knowing you're so sick, like, in death? And it's just crazy to think that at 5 years old I said that.
Yeah.
But.
And I just think, and everything happens for a reason, and I think choices are so important. Like, even the most minor choices, right? Do you want to stay in Stillwater and have fun like you do every weekend? Or do you want to go help in Oklahoma City and do some service this afternoon? And, that one choice was a series of choices that changed my life. And I think the real blessing in it was getting to know that this was Becca who inspired me. And because that was always such a big, important thing. And just to get to see that where she is, and that actually we were together for several more years and we didn't know it.
Yeah.
So, because as a camper, I never knew that she was Becca. Like, there's a ton of Beccas with cancer, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that's anything unique.
Yeah.
So I never thought about it. But I just thought, I think that it shows you so much that every choice you make matters, and that God has a purpose for you and a plan for you. And look at that full circle moment, and then now the beginning of your career and what that could be for other future little Beccas.
And describe what you do for a living.
I am an RN at the Children's Hospital where I got my treatment, and I work in the pediatric hematology oncology unit, so it's definitely full circle for me. Okay. I grew up going to these camps, and Cabot Kids has shaped me as a person, and it's given me a community and like a second family that I can always count on and have and love.
Was your first session ski camp?
Yes.
Okay.
I was also really nervous because it was out of state. Like,
Yeah.
it was in Colorado, Winter Park, Colorado for ski camp.
Awesome.
The thing I would like to add about Cabot Kids is it gives kids the opportunity to do things that they would never do, for example, on the boat. But also, my family doesn't ski. I
Yeah.
would have never skied if it wasn't for Cabot Kids. And I know that might seem minor, but it's so cool. Like, I got to go to Colorado and ski with some of my, like, best friends.